Okay, this is Jay's first attempt at this move. And one of the things I like about this video is that Jay has really excellent biomechanics. All the strokes she takes have really good range of motion, really good, uh, especially torso mechanics. There's a couple things, Jay, that we'll look at in terms of making your technique work for you a little better. The first will be that you approach this eddy line almost on a straight line, and we'll see in a sec that you end up using a couple stern corrections. Nothing wrong with that. Uh, Something you could do to get more out of the work you're putting in is to approach on more of a carve. So the straight line arrow ends up being your approach, this more curved line being one that could be you approaching on more of a carve. Really nice torso engagement there, and really good moderation of your speed. So maybe the correction stroke that you're about to take there is warranted. Maybe slowing just a little bit is going to work for you. I'm pausing here to take a brief look at the bow pinning wave. So as your bow initially engages, you can see that the bow pinning wave is very much towards the front of the canoe. Let's watch how that progresses. Right there, at the end of the power phase of your stroke, we can see a couple things. We can see your chin is, excuse me, to try that again. Your chin is pretty much over your seat, so your weight is just a little bit back, and your bow has lifted. So now I would say the bow pinning wave is much further back. That's the combination of you generating some bow lift through well-timed acceleration of the power phase of your onside stroke, as well as hanging your bow out over a little bit of a wave trough that allows the bow pinning wave to scoot back towards your pivot point, giving it less leverage on the angle of your boat compared to the current. Really nice work letting your ferry angle open up as you cross into this intermediate eddy. This app tells me that's about a 37-degree angle to the direction of current. What that's going to let you do is stay on your onside as you carve through this intermediate eddy to accelerate towards your departure point coming out of the eddy, which is about there. Let's take a look at that. So that was really nice. You stayed on your onside, accelerated toward your departure point. Something I wanted to highlight here is this is your onside, and while you are twisting, look how far forward your head is. I would say that your chin is approaching your knees, and then that's loading your bow. Now, most of the time, I would say that in this circumstance, we're on our onside, we would want to unload our bow. But the interesting thing coming into an eddy, it's a time we might want to actually load our bow. By loading our bow, by putting the bow pinning wave towards the front of the boat here on the outside edge, it's actually helping push our boat back upstream or back up eddy, and gives us this like preemptive counter to the spin momentum that our onside forward stroke is going to give us. So generally speaking, if there's a time to weight the knees when we're on our onside, it is as our bow is diving into an eddy current. And we want it to counteract the new spin momentum coming into the eddy to counteract the force of our onside. Let's keep watching. Nice job bringing your weight back as your bow comes into the new current. You hung your bow out over that wave trough. Something I'm noticing here is as you're slipping off the back of this wave, you switch to your offside here, maybe knowing that as your bow gets loaded there and you drop your edge, your angle is going to open up. but you recover your angle so quickly on that second forward stroke. I wonder, because you have so much speed, whether being on your onside earlier there, knowing that you can always pry to bring your bow back upstream, because watch, here you're working really hard to keep your bow pointed downstream to widen the arc of your turn so that you can stay on your onside. And my memory is that you end up needing some pries because you end up really close to the shore. Pry there, another pry, another pry. Now, that being said, you don't ever actually slip down the eddy at all, so your momentum goes from cross-current momentum into up eddy momentum very effectively. There's a little bit of a cross to help maintain your approach angle. Wanted to take a closer look at where your bow is as you come out of this eddy. You do get an unloading of your bow by being on the back face of this wave. The bow pinning wave slides back on your boat. I suspect you could have been just a touch further forward into that wave trough and gotten a little more glide than you got. Nice rotation on that work behind your hip for that pry. Nice low paddle shaft angle. Nice low paddle shaft angle here to help drive your boat this way. So that's your onside forward, but with your top hand well over your airbag. Anticipate here on your cross here, anticipating the up eddy pressure that you're going to get coming into the slack water there.